Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Noor Alamin with the headlines. The holy Shab-e Miraj will be observed tonight with religious fervor. Devout Muslims will be engaged in worship. The first meeting of new election commission has been held. Cabinet bans employment of children under 14. Talks between Ukraine and Russia have started at the Belarusian border, said Ukrainian presidential advisor. The holy Shab-e Miraj will be observed tonight with religious fervor. Every year on the night of Rajab 26, Muslims observe Shab-e Miraj when Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam embarked on a special journey to meet Allah. In the journey, the Prophet traveled on the Buraq to heaven, where Allah gave him some instructions to take back to the faithful regarding the details of prayers. Muslim devotees were special prayers at mosque and homes, seeking blessings of Allah for the welfare of the entire nation and the Muslim Ummah. Chief Election Commissioner Kazi Habibul Awal wants a compromise between the political parties in the interest of the fair elections. At the same time, he urged the political parties not to leave the polling station. He made the call at a press conference on his first working day after being sworn in as the Chief Election Commissioner. He further added that all parties should participate in the elections to consolidate democracy. Chief Election Commissioner Habibul Awal said the Commission would work to win the confidence of the people. The CEC urged the political parties not to leave the polling booths for the sake of the fair voting. He also said that all parties should participate in the elections to consolidate democracy. In addition, the use of EVMs in the next elections will be decided after review with the commissions, said CEC Habibul Awal. The cabinet today decided that none under the age of 14 could be recruited for work, approving the proposal of ratifying ILO Convention 138, which restricted employment of any child below 15. The approval came at the Cabinet's regular meeting with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in the chair. Cabinet Secretary Khandakar Anwarul Islam said, considering the socio-economic condition of any country, the age limit of the recruitment could be reduced to 14 years, but it not less than it. The Cabinet thinks age limit 14 is suitable for Bangladesh. The Cabinet Secretary also said ILO Convention 138 carries special significance as out of 189 countries across the world, 173 have signed it. The Cabinet Secretary, however, said that these children, whether they are 13 or 15 years old, cannot be engaged in any risky or dangerous work under any circumstances. The first dose of corona vaccine was administered across the country. Today was the last day of the 3-day of Gonotika program. Massive crowds have been seen at vaccination centers in different parts of the country, including the capital. Many have expressed relief at being vaccinated. People also took second and booster dose voluntarily. Despite some pressure, the authority expressed their commitment to mark this program a success. Many have applauded the initiatives. However, due to the crowds, the vaccinators have been faced trouble in many centers. The High Court has fixed on Tuesday for delivering its order on a petition filed by actor Porimoni for scrapping the trial proceedings in a narcotics case against her. The High Court bench of Justice Mustafa Zaman Islam and Justice Muhammad Selim yet the date today after concluding hearing on a petition. A Dhaka court on January 5 this year framed charges against Porimoni and her two associates, the Ashraful Islam Deepu and Kabir Hussain, in the case. CID, an investigations officer of the case, submitted the charge sheet of the Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Court, Dhaka, on October 4 on last year. RAB detained Porimoni and Deepu on August 4 on last year. They seized alcohol and narcotics from Porimoni's residence. The following day, the two were thrown arrested in the case filed with Bonani Police Station. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and you are watching Bangla City SATV News. Let's take a look at what's going on in the world now. A Ukrainian delegation has arrived at the border with Belarus for talks today with Russian delegations. The meetings will focus on achieving an immediate ceasefire and the withdrawal of the Russian forces, the Ukrainian presidency said in a statement. And meanwhile, more than 2,000 people at anti-war protests held in 48 cities across Russia were detained on Sunday alone. Report also said more than 5,500 people have been detained at various anti-war protests. Dalia Nilufar brings the details.
Kiev and Moscow start talks. The high-level talks between two countries took place at the Ukraine-Belarus border. Though negotiators for Kiev and Moscow are holding peace talks, but expectations are not high. On the flip side, before the meeting, President Zelensky urged Russian troops to lay down their weapons and called for immediate EU membership. Meanwhile, on the fifth day of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, people in Kiev are emerging from their homes after a weekend-long curfew. Separately, despite an ongoing crackdown on protesters, widespread demonstrations continue across Russia. In Moscow, riot police outnumbered protesters who have been carrying handwritten placards with peace signs and anti-war slogans in Russian and Ukrainian. Massive anti-war protests took place in Berlin too. More than 100,000 people were seen protesting in solidarity with Ukraine in Berlin on Sunday, calling for the end of Russia's invasion. Meanwhile, Americans were seen protesting across the U.S., including in Chicago, home to a large Ukrainian community. Protesters were also seen gathering outside the White House to urge the government to support Ukraine. For SATV News Desk.
Delhi is set to lift all coronavirus curbs from today amid a drop in daily infections in the national capital. The government, however, stressed that COVID-appropriate behavior, including wearing of masks, maintaining social distancing, and hand hygiene, have to be followed at all times. The restrictions were imposed in December as India was hit by a third wave with a surge driven by the highly infectious Omicron variant. According to the Delhi Disaster Management Authority, the night curfew is set to be scrapped. The 50% sitting cap in restaurants, movie theaters and bars also goes, and there will be no online classes for schools from April 1st. Reports said the fine for not wearing mask has been cut from 2,000 to 500 rupee. A methane explosion at a coal mine in central Colombia claimed 10 times and lives, the National Mining Agency said on Sunday. A search has been launched for the 5 missing miners. A group of 40 rescuers were searching for the missing miners and have installed a ventilation duct in hopes of boosting breathability underground. The Beca region, where the mine is located, has the worst track record for mining accidents in Colombia. Oil and coal briquettes are Colombia's main export. Last year, 130 people died in mining accidents countrywide, down from 171 for the previous year. Most of the deaths occurred at illegal mines. History has been made in China following the launch of a Long March 8 rocket to place 22 satellites into orbit on Sunday. It marks a domestic record for the most spacecraft launched by a single rocket. The blast-off took place at Wenchang spacecraft launch site in the southern Hainan province. The satellites will be mainly used for the commercial remote sensing, service, marine, environment monitoring, forest fire, and the prevention and disaster mitigation. The latest mission also marked the 409th flight of the Long March series, the carrier rockets. Iraqi archaeological authorities have restarted a renovation project at the ancient city of the Hatra following the destructions at the site caused by the Islamic State militants. Officials say nearly 15% of the site was destroyed by IS. Hatra is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and among many sites destroyed by the Islamic State when it ruled parties of the Iraq and Syria. It contains some of the richest archaeological treasures on the planet. India whitewashed Sri Lanka in T20 series. In the last match of the series, the host beat to the Sri Lankans by 6 wickets. Sri Lanka decided to bat first after winning the toss at the Association Stadium. Batting first, the Lankan lost 4 wickets for 29 runs and were concerned. In the end, the visitors scored 146 runs for the 5 wickets. And the stormy batting of the captain, Dasan Shankar, India didn't have a good start by batting in reply. Captain Rohit Sharma returned with 5 runs of 9 balls. Sanjay Samson couldn't take advantage. Shreyas Iyer impassable batting ensured the host a victory by 7 wickets with 19 balls of high hand. India won 3-match T20 series by 3-0. Before ending, we go through Bangla City SATV News headlines again. The Holy Shab-e Miraj will be observed tonight with religious fervor. Devout Muslims will be engaged in worship. The first meeting of new election commission has been held. Cabinet bans employment of children under 14. Talks between Ukraine and Russia have started at the Belarusian border, said Ukrainian presidential advisor. You are up to date with the Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.